wolfguy and doomslayer sitting in the truck together in the rain at night, talking about stories.
The rain poured heavily outside, drumming against the roof of the truck as wolfguy and doomslayer sat inside, seeking shelter from the storm. The dim glow of the dashboard lights illuminated their faces, casting shadows that danced across their features. Wolfguy, his rugged appearance accentuated by the rain-soaked hair and the scars on his face, leaned back against the seat, his eyes fixed on the raindrops racing down the window. He turned to doomslayer, who sat beside him, his stoic expression hidden beneath his iconic helmet. "You know, doomslayer, I've seen some crazy things in my time," wolfguy began, his voice low and gravelly. "Fought demons, monsters, and everything in between. But I've always wondered about your story. How did you become the legendary doomslayer?" Doomslayer remained silent for a moment, his gaze fixed on the rain-soaked road ahead. Finally, he spoke, his voice deep and resonant, carrying an air of determination. "Long ago, I was a warrior, a protector of humanity. But when the forces of hell invaded, they took everything from me. My home, my people, my world. They left me with nothing but rage and a thirst for vengeance." Wolfguy nodded, understanding the pain and anger that fueled Doomslayer's relentless crusade against the forces of evil. "I can relate, my friend. Sometimes, it feels like the world is against us, and all we have left is our own strength and willpower." Doomslayer's helmeted head turned slightly towards Wolfguy, as if acknowledging the shared understanding between them. "Indeed. We are the last line of defense, the ones who stand against the darkness. Our stories may be different, but our purpose is the same." As the rain continued to pour outside, the two warriors sat in silence, the sound of the raindrops mingling with their thoughts. They understood the weight of their responsibilities, the sacrifices they had made, and the battles they had fought. Wolfguy broke the silence, a hint of admiration in his voice. "You know, doomslayer, I've heard tales of your exploits. They say you're unstoppable, a force of nature. It's an honor to fight alongside you." Doomslayer's helmeted head turned towards Wolfguy once more, a faint nod of acknowledgement. "The honor is mine, Wolfguy. Together, we shall face the darkest of nights and emerge victorious." And as the rain continued to fall, the two warriors sat in the truck, sharing stories of battles fought, enemies vanquished, and the unyielding spirit that bound them together. In that moment, they found solace in each other's presence, knowing that they were not alone in their fight against the forces of evil.
Wolfguy says to Doomslayer, "You know, you have a home with me. I'm also a slayer myself. I do supernatural things. I have a lot of weapons at my home. You're welcome to stay there if you like."
Doomslayer's helmeted head turned towards Wolfguy, his eyes hidden behind the visor. There was a flicker of surprise in his gaze, as if he hadn't expected such an offer. "You would welcome me into your home, Wolfguy? Even knowing what I am?" Wolfguy nodded, a determined look in his eyes. "Of course, Doomslayer. We may come from different worlds, but we share a common purpose. We fight against the darkness, and I believe that together, we can accomplish even greater things." Doomslayer's voice rumbled with gratitude, his tone filled with a rare warmth. "I appreciate your offer, Wolfguy. It's been a long time since I've had a place to call home. I accept." With that, the two warriors made their way through the rain-soaked streets, back to Wolfguy's home. As they entered, Doomslayer couldn't help but notice the array of weapons adorning the walls, each one a testament to Wolfguy's own skills and experiences. Wolfguy led Doomslayer to a spare room, offering him a place to rest and recover. "Make yourself at home, Doomslayer. You'll find everything you need here. And if you ever need assistance or someone to watch your back, know that I'll be there." Doomslayer removed his helmet, revealing a face hardened by battle and loss. He looked at Wolfguy, a rare hint of gratitude in his eyes. "Thank you, Wolfguy. It's been a long time since I've had someone I could trust. I won't forget this." And so, in the safety of Wolfguy's home, the two warriors found solace and camaraderie. They shared stories, trained together, and prepared for the battles that lay ahead. In each other, they found not only allies, but also a sense of belonging and understanding that had eluded them for so long. As the rain continued to fall outside, the two slayers forged a bond that would withstand the trials and tribulations of their shared destiny. Together, they would face the darkness, knowing that they had each other's backs, and that they had found a home in the unlikeliest of places.
Wolfguy knocked in Doomslayer room. Are you hungry? I got some steak and potatoes cooking.
Doomslayer looked up from his weapons, a faint smile tugging at the corners of his lips. The scent of sizzling steak and potatoes wafted through the air, making his stomach growl in response. It had been a while since he had enjoyed a warm meal, and the offer was a welcome one. Thank you, Wolfguy, Doomslayer replied, his voice gruff but appreciative. I could use a good meal. He followed Wolfguy to the kitchen, where a hearty feast awaited them. The table was set with steaming plates of perfectly cooked steak, accompanied by a generous serving of golden brown potatoes. The aroma filled the room, making Doombslayer's mouth water. As they sat down to eat, Doomslayer couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude towards Wolfguy. It wasn't just the food that warmed his heart, but the gesture itself. In this simple act of sharing a meal, Wolfguy had shown him kindness and acceptance. They ate in companionable silence, savoring each bite. The flavors exploded in Doombslayer's mouth, reminding him of the simple pleasures he had long forgotten amidst the chaos of battle. It was a moment of respite, a brief pause in their relentless pursuit of justice. After they finished their meal, Doomslayer leaned back in his chair, feeling a sense of contentment wash over him. Thank you, Wolfguy, he said, his voice filled with genuine gratitude. This was more than just a meal. It was a reminder of the bonds we forge, even in the darkest of times. Wolfguy nodded, a smile playing on his lips. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Doomslayer. We may come from different worlds, but in the end, we're all just warriors seeking a moment of peace. And sometimes, that peace can be found in the simplest of gestures. With that, the two warriors shared a moment of understanding, their paths intertwined in a way that neither of them could have anticipated. In the safety of Wolfguy's home, they found not only shelter and camaraderie, but also the warmth of a shared meal, and the comfort of knowing they were not alone in their fight against the darkness.
Wolfguy says, want a beer? I got ice cold beer in the fridge.
Doombslayer's eyes lit up at the mention of an ice-cold beer. It had been a long time since he had enjoyed a drink, and the idea of a refreshing beverage was enticing. Sure, Wolfguy, Doomslayer replied, a hint of excitement in his voice. An ice-cold beer sounds perfect right now. Wolfguy got up from the table and walked over to the fridge, opening it to reveal an assortment of beverages. He reached in and pulled out 2 bottles of beer, the condensation glistening on the glass. He handed one to Doomslayer, who took it gratefully. The coolness of the bottle felt refreshing against his calloused hands. With a swift motion, he popped the cap off and took a long, satisfying sip. The taste of the beer washed over Doomslayer's tongue, a welcome contrast to the intensity of battle. It was a moment of relaxation, a chance to unwind and enjoy the simple pleasures of life. As they sat there, sipping their beers, Doomslayer and Wolfguy exchanged stories of their adventures. They laughed and shared tales of triumph and hardship, finding solace in each other's company. In that moment, the weight of their burdens seemed a little lighter, their spirits lifted by the camaraderie and the shared enjoyment of a cold beer. It was a reminder that even in the midst of chaos there were moments of respite and connection. Doomslayer raised his bottle in a silent toast, a gesture of gratitude towards Wolfguy. Cheers, he said, a smile playing on his lips. To friendship and the simple pleasures in life. Wolfguy clinked his bottle against Doombslayer's, a smile mirroring his companion's cheers, he replied. May we find strength in each other, and never forget the importance of these moments. And so, they sat there, enjoying their beers and the company of a fellow warrior. In that small, ordinary act, they found a sense of unity and a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there was still room for joy and connection.
Wolfguy tells a story about the church. You know, Slayer, I can remember one of the nuns was a demon, so I walked into the church, but the guy in front of me tried to stop me from coming in holding a cross on my face, but I pushed him away. But don't worry, I didn't hurt the guy. He's fine. But anyway, so I walked into the room where the demon nun was at, and I took my book out and sent the demon back to where it belongs. because the book is about darkness and supernatural. It's evil that carries monsters.
Slayer listened intently as Wolfguy recounted his encounter with the demon nun in the church. He could sense the gravity of the situation and the danger that Wolfguy had faced. "Sounds like you had quite the battle on your hands, Wolfguy," Slayer remarked, his voice filled with admiration. "Dealing with demons is never an easy task, especially when they hide in plain sight." Wolfguy nodded, his expression serious. "Indeed, Slayer. This demon nun was cunning, using the guise of a holy figure to deceive and prey upon the innocent. But I couldn't let her continue her wicked deeds." He took a sip of his beer, collecting his thoughts before continuing. "I knew I had to confront her, to banish her back to the darkness where she belonged. So, armed with my book of darkness and supernatural knowledge, I entered the room where she awaited." Slayer leaned forward, intrigued by the story. "And what happened next, Wolfguy? How did you defeat the demon nun?" Wolfguy's eyes gleamed with determination. "I recited the ancient incantations from the book, calling upon the forces of light to aid me in my battle against the darkness. The room filled with an otherworldly energy as I chanted the words, and the demon nun's true form was revealed." He paused, taking another sip of his beer. "With every word, I could feel the power of the book surging through me. I stood my ground, unyielding in the face of evil. And finally, with one last incantation, I banished the demon back to the depths from which it came." Slayer nodded, impressed by Wolfguy's bravery and resourcefulness. "You did well, my friend. It takes great courage to confront such malevolent forces. Your knowledge and determination saved innocent lives." Wolfguy smiled, a mix of pride and relief on his face. "Thank you, Slayer. It was a tough battle, but knowing that I made a difference makes it all worth it. We must always be vigilant, for evil can lurk in the most unexpected places." Slayer raised his bottle in a silent salute. "To your bravery and the triumph of light over darkness," he said, his voice filled with respect. Wolfguy clinked his bottle against Slayer's, a sense of camaraderie between them. "To the eternal fight against evil," he replied, his voice steady and determined. And so, they sat there, sipping their beers, their minds filled with the tales of battles fought and won. In each other's stories, they found inspiration and a reminder of the importance of their mission. Together, they would continue to face the darkness, armed with their strength, knowledge, and the bond of friendship.
Wolfguy says, "Well, Doomslayer, I am brave, same like you, Doomslayer. You know, I can remember going to a haunted house once. I saw a ghost, but never feared me."
Slayer chuckled, impressed by Wolfguy's fearlessness. "You truly are brave, Wolfguy. Facing a ghost head-on takes a special kind of courage. Tell me, what happened when you encountered the ghost?" Wolfguy leaned back, a mischievous glint in his eyes. The haunted house. It was a dark and stormy night, the perfect setting for a ghostly encounter. As I stepped into the house, I could feel the chill in the air, the presence of something otherworldly." He took a deep breath, reliving the memory. "I ventured deeper into the house, my heart pounding with anticipation. And then, I saw it. A translucent figure, floating in the hallway. The ghost." Slayer leaned forward, eager to hear the rest of the story. "What did you do, Wolfguy? Did you run away?" Wolfguy shook his head, a grin spreading across his face. "No, Slayer. I stood my ground. I knew that ghosts are often trapped souls, seeking resolution or release. So, I approached the ghost, speaking to it calmly and respectfully." He paused, his voice filled with a mix of awe and wonder. "To my surprise, the ghost responded. It told me its story, the pain and sorrow that had kept it bound to the mortal realm. I listened, offering empathy and understanding." Slayer nodded, impressed by Wolfguy's compassion. "And what happened next, Wolfguy? Did you help the ghost find peace?" Wolfguy's eyes sparkled with a mix of pride and satisfaction. "Yes, Slayer. I used my knowledge of ancient rituals and spiritual practices to guide the ghost towards resolution. Together, we performed a ritual of release, allowing the ghost to find peace and move on." Slayer raised an eyebrow, intrigued by Wolfguy's abilities. You possess quite the range of skills, wolfguy. It seems you are not only brave but also compassionate and wise. Wolfguy shrugged modestly. I've learned a lot over the years, Slayer. The supernatural world is vast and mysterious, but with the right knowledge and approach, we can make a difference. Slayer raised his bottle once again, this time in admiration. To your bravery, compassion, and wisdom, wolfguy. May we continue to face the darkness together, armed with our unique strengths. Wolfguy clinked his bottle against Slayer's, a sense of camaraderie and mutual respect between them. To the eternal fight against evil, Slayer, he replied, his voice filled with determination. And so, they sat there, sharing their tales of bravery and compassion, their minds filled with the wonders and challenges of the supernatural world. In each other's stories, they found inspiration and a reminder of the importance of their mission. Together, they would continue to face the darkness, armed with their strength, knowledge, and the bond of friendship.
Wolfguy says, well, after all, I am the supernatural slayer after all, hee.
Slayer chuckled, acknowledging Wolfguy's playful remark. Indeed, Wolfguy. You have proven yourself to be a formidable supernatural slayer. Your bravery and skills are unmatched. Together, we make a formidable team, ready to take on any challenge that comes our way. Wolfguy grinned, a glimmer of mischief in his eyes. That's right, Slayer. With our combined powers, there's no evil we can't vanquish. The supernatural world better watch out. They both laughed, their spirits lifted by the shared camaraderie, and the knowledge that they were not alone in their fight against the darkness. As they continued to share stories and strategize, they knew that their bond would only grow stronger, and their impact on the supernatural world would be even greater. And so, the supernatural slayer and the doomslayer sat together, their friendship solidified by their shared experiences and their unwavering determination to protect the world from the forces of evil. With each passing day, their legend grew, inspiring others to join their cause and ensuring that the light would always prevail over the darkness.